Hey guys, it is Saturday and I'm out on a ride. Not really out on an adventure or anything like that, just because the cycling season proper is approaching. Just out here getting in some base miles. So, brought you guys along. We're going to do the Ellis Road loop. It's a gravel road loop. It basically climbs up to a high point. You can ride it, it's a loop obviously. You can ride in either direction. You go that way, you basically get almost all your elevation, one big climb, gravel road climb, so it's pretty brutal. And you go this direction, and basically it steps its way up. This direction makes it great for a tempo workout. I'm riding my fat bike because they're calling for 5-10 centimeters of snow. Fat bike is so stable and stuff like this. Yes, it's slow. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just out here getting base miles. It'll make the loop take longer, so I'll have to do it less times than if I did it on a lightweight hardtail. Right now I'm just worried about the workout. Yeah, so I was going to talk about some of my fitness goals this year. Last year kind of took a different approach. I focused more on shorter, intense workouts. And yeah, my cardio got to a pretty good level, but that setup didn't really control my body weight. So this year, gonna go back to doing long rides on weekends. So this ride's part of that build up. You know, once we get into good riding weather, I want to already be comfortable doing 3 hours. Right now I can do 2 hours of hilly terrain and not feel too bad. So I'll continue doing that. Maybe up the intensity of those 2-hour rides. I'll start doing tempo. Lots of tempo. This bike will be great for tempo because it's slow and you just grind your way. Like on a gravel road, hilly gravel road, this will be an awesome bike for tempo workouts. Every hill will take longer. This bike is definitely throw it in your car and drive somewhere, some hilly gravel road, and then ride from that starting point. It's not much fun on pavement to ride this thing, and second reason is the tires are stupid expensive. So this is the high point of the loop. Now we step our way down until we get to the biggest part of the downhill. Okay, so this is the downhill proper. Once you hit the steep bit, it's a gravel road, but you could probably still hit over 70 km an hour. But there's like a little chicane at the bottom, so you have to check your brakes pretty hard. bit icy underneath. So we hit 51 kilometers an hour. That's the fastest I've ever been on this fat bike. New record. Fat bike record. So now this part of the loop, it runs along the Dog River, which is right there, as you can see. Absolutely beautiful. So it's basically flat to gradually downhill because we're going downstream with a couple rollers. So the main fitness goals I want to do this summer is ride out to our family cottage on my Yeti cyclocross bike in less than 3 hours. Best I've done is about 3 hours 10 minutes. I've never really tried to break a record, and it's a little over 90 kilometers. So yeah, that means I'll have to average over 30k an hour for 3 hours. I know I can do it, but it's going to take a lot of training, a lot of tempo riding, and there's a few pretty stiff climbs. There'll be some hill repeats involved, and the worst part is the toughest hill on the whole ride is only 5 kilometers from our camp cottage, and it's gravel, and it's a beast in terms of how steep it is at the crest of it. And then the other issue that causes is it's not always in good shape. Lots of times there'll be that washboard, stutterboard type stutter bumps, and I'll already come into that pretty close to exhaustion, so it's going to be seriously painful. Plus, this summer I've made a couple loops, found a couple loops that I set times on last summer, and I'll try and beat those times this summer. This loop that I'm doing right now is one of those loops. The goal around this loop is to average 30k an hour or more. I think last summer my best was a 27 kilometer an hour average around here, partly due to that one big freaking climb. Every time I've come here to try and set a better time, I go way too hard on that hill, and I pay for it the rest of the loop. So this summer I'm definitely going to pay more attention to my pacing. Thing is, it's such a hard hill that it's hard to pace yourself. But I'm hoping to be thinner, lighter, when I start going for personal bests out here too, so that's going to help. Because unfortunately in the world of cycling, lighter is righter, or more right. Less you weigh, better you're going to go uphill. Beautiful country. About hour outside of the city, hour away from Lake Superior too, so in town this is all really wet and sloppy, but out here, yeah, it's a little bit damp, but it's not wet. I'm not getting any spray. Okay, we're almost done the ride for today. Maybe 500 meters from my car. Snow is picked up, and I didn't bring any eye protection, so the snow is really stinging my eyes. anytime I gain any real sort of speed, I have to totally squint just to be able to see things. Oh, my car. So I've been out for 2 hours, just over 2 hours now. Oh. Whew. Okay, so now we'll check the stats, show you how fat bikes are definitely not built for speed. So 2 hours, 1 minute, 10 seconds. Average speed of 14.6 k an hour. 29.4 kilometers. My average heart rate was 132 beats a minute. We did 370 meters of climbing. Max speed was 51 kilometers an hour. It's the fastest I've ever been on my fat bike. Yeah. Actually, I like using the fat bike for this kind of stuff because it's in this kind of conditions. You know, I could have rode a regular mountain bike, put on my studded tires, and yeah, we probably would have averaged probably 5k an hour faster. But this bike is so stable. It's really, really confidence inspiring, especially going through rutty, kind of hardened snow, icy stuff. It just tracks straight and true. You just pedal and keep going. So yeah, I'll probably do a few more rides like this before the winter's up. Gives me a nice jump on getting some decent base riding. The nice thing about this kind of riding is it's controlled more or less. You know, when you go off-road, sometimes you're not in control at all of the intensity level, and you end up going way harder than you want or had planned to. So it's nice to go out on the roads where the grades are a little more, able to deal with the grades a little more easily. Start my car here because we're going to start getting a chill. Well, thanks for joining me on my base ride.